Hello and welcome to another video. Happy New Year. This is the year 2020 where you have to know all the principles you need to know to pass your test. So let's get down to today's topic. Today I'm going to be talking about difference of two squares, which simply means when you're required to subtract a square from another square. What is the fastest way to do it? Well, I have some examples to show you what may be expected of you to do. Just look for the fundamentals in it and we'll be good. Firstly, let me explain this concept. This concept simply says that when you multiply a difference by a sum of the same thing, you'll end up with the difference of the squares. I say that again. When you multiply a difference by a sum, you'll end up with a difference of the squares. Let's put it this way. Let's take the first example and then extend it here, because actually if you work this through, you decide to distribute this over this and distribute negative y over this, you'll end up with this. So it's a fantastic discovery. It's a fantastic thing to know because it saves you time a lot. Let's take the first example. Okay? I'm going to take all 4 examples in this video, and by the end of this video, I'm sure you will learn everything about this principle and use it for any question that shows up. So let's take the first one. Let's say in a test you're given 3 squared minus 2 squared as a problem. Well, these are small numbers, so you can easily find the square of 3 to be 9. The square of 2 will be 4. And your answer is supposed to be 5. Well, let's assume that we don't want to go this way. We choose to go this way by applying the difference of 2 squares rule. You will notice that all you have to do is apply the rule. 3 minus 2 multiplied by 3 plus 2. Just the same rule. Well, we know that 3 minus 2 is going to be 1 multiplied by 3 plus 2, that's 5. 1 times 5 gives us 5. So, whether you go this way or you go this way, you'll always end up with the same answer. Now let's take something that is not as simple as that, which is when this becomes very useful. So, let's go to another example. So the second example I'm going to use to explain this is this question. This is actually a GMAT problem, which may have thrown some people off, but if you know this rule, this is a very easy question. So let's see. 9 squared minus 1 squared. Well, if we apply the rule that we just said, this would be the same thing as saying 9 minus 1, 9 plus 1. You know what? I'm going to write it on this side. I'm not sure if my camera angle is capturing that. So let's do it here. So this is going to be 9 minus 1, 9 plus 1. Well, you don't need a calculator to do this. You can easily tell that if you reduce this by 1, you're going to end up with 998. And you're multiplying it by, if you add 1 to 999, you're going to get 1,000. So, just transfer the zeros here. Your answer will be 998,000. That's your answer. Okay? It is not impossible for you to square this, but that's going to take you some time. And you might make some mistakes also along the way. So the best thing is to know this and apply it. All you're looking for is that you're subtracting a square from a square. The square of 1 from the square of 999. You might use a calculator to check that, and you'll see that the answer will be 998,000. Okay. Well, the square of this is 998,001. Okay, so if you subtract the square of 1, which is 1 from it, you'll end up with this. So that's why this is correct. Now let's say the next example is such that you're not required to actually find an answer. you're required to factor, or what you call factorize in British environments. Okay? In America, we say, let's factor it. But this one is, you're not supposed to get an answer. You're just supposed to make this simpler, make it look easier. Some people would freak out over this kind of question. But there is a way out. Let's erase this. So, the next question is 1 over x squared minus 9. The instruction is to factor this. Well, all you know is that this rule will require knowledge of this concept, difference of two squares. So what you want to do is look for what portions of the terms are perfect squares. The beautiful thing about this question is that every single thing here is a perfect square. 1 is a perfect square. X squared, well, by reason of the name, is a perfect square. And 9 is a perfect square. So all you have to do is rewrite this as 1 squared over x squared minus 3 squared. So everything is squared. And this is in a fraction form. So why don't you apply one of the principles of exponents to just put this together? This is going to become 1 over x squared, because they have the same exponent. That's it. Minus 3 squared. We have gone back to something that looks like this. This squared minus this squared. Now we can factor. Your final answer will be 1 over x minus 3, 1 over x plus 3. That's your answer. So all you have to do is find the perfect squares in the problem and just plant them in here. Now you know your perfect squares and you know your difference of two squares. So the final question to explain this will be this one. Okay? I'm going to erase this. So the final question says you should factor this. Well, let's write it out. This is 49 n to the 4th minus m to the 6th. Well, you said that's what you're thinking. This is about squares. I don't see squares here. I see numbers bigger than squares. Yes, remember, if it is an even number, it is still the square of another number. So you can rewrite this expression as 49 will be 7 squared. And n to the 4th is the same as n to the 2nd squared. That's it. Remember that principle of exponents? When you multiply these two, you go back to this. Minus, this is m to the 3rd squared. So, if we try to put these two together, you'll end up with 7n squared squared minus m cubed squared. Now, we've gotten our x and our y.